Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Travel Tech. So this is the second video in line for the free giveaway contest out of the 5 videos. I've already posted the first video and this will be the second one where you need to comment down below on how helpful you found this particular video to be. So go ahead, write down your comments, comment the fastest and be more creative and be more detailed in your comments down below. Let's see who wins the free giveaway. Now that being said, let's start up with the video. So this is the one and only comparison, the ultimate comparison of the budget 4K dash cameras which you need to see to decide which camera to go ahead with. So in this video, I'll be doing a no-nonsense comparison between the IZI Drive 4K dash cam and the Redtiger F7N 4K dash cam. So the IZI Drive comes at a price of about 10,000 rupees for the dual channel variant and the Redtiger comes at a price of about 13 to 14,000 rupees. Now do note that both cameras have a 5 megapixel IMX335 Sony StarVis sensor, which is a previous generation StarVis sensor, and both cameras have a 4K resolution. Well, they both support a upscaled 4K resolution and not a native or a true 4K resolution. If you're someone who doesn't know the difference between this, I'll be bringing up a detailed video covering what a native 4K is and what a upscaled 4K is and why you should consider one over the other. Well, that video will be coming up pretty soon, but right now go ahead, watch this amazing and the ultimate comparison between the IZI Drive and the Redtiger, and at the end of the video let's talk a bit more. So let's get started. So here's a comparison of a snapshot from both the IZI Drive and Redtiger dash cams. On top you find the IZI Drive, on the bottom is the Redtiger dash cam. So as you can see by the pointed arrow, this is the extra part which you can see in the Redtiger dashcam because it seems to offer a slightly wider field of view compared to the IZI Drive dashcam. If you can notice on the left portion, both the videos are cropped at the same point, but at the right corner of the video, the Redtiger looks to have a slightly wider field of view when compared to the IZI Drive. Now let's move on further down into the video and quickly fast forward to a point where my car reaches about a distance of 10 to 15 feet from the forward car. Now let's zoom in on the license plate. So this is the license plate read from the IZI Drive. The letters and numbers are more or less visible, slightly blurred out, but the overall plate is quite readable. In terms of the Redtiger, a very similar experience, slightly blurred out letters and numbers, but the overall plate readability is decent. Comparing them side by side, on top you find the IZI Drive, on the bottom you find the Redtiger. Now there is a very minimal to little difference between these two samples. I mean, in terms of the license plate readability, they provide absolutely the same experience, I think, but the overall footage tone, I think, is more cooler in the IZI Drive and the Redtiger footage gives off a more warmer tone. Let's move a bit further down so that we get to a very close range, and if I now zoom in, the IZI Drive sample gives a very clear and a bright white look for the license plate read. All letters or numbers are excellent in their readability. If we take a look at the sample from the Redtiger dashcam, again a very clear appearance of the license plate, although I must point out that the Redtiger gives off more shadows and the highlights and the brightness compared to the IZI Drive is relatively lesser. If we stack them together side by side, on top you find the IZI Drive, on the bottom the Redtiger. Now you can make out that the IZI Drive is looking more whitish and more brighter compared to the Redtiger, and the Redtiger sample, especially by itself, is looking, I think, more natural compared to the IZI Drive sample. But the overall readability of the license plate is more or less actually the same. There is no difference in terms of the clarity of the license plate. Coming to the nighttime sample from both these dash cameras, so as you can see there is an EcoSport right in front, and if you take a look at the license plate at the bottom, it is completely whitewashed due to my headlight glare. Now this is a common problem with all the previous gen StarVis sensors, and if I just turn off my headlights, so as you can see now the license plate become readable after I turn off my headlights. And if you can take a look at the sample from the IZI Drive, you do see a moderate to significant amount of noise in this sample because this is at the end of the day an upscaled 4K and not a native one. The overall readability of the plate is decent. All letters and numbers are clearly visible. Do remember that this is after I turned off my headlights. Taking a look at the sample from the Redtiger dashcam, again a very similar experience, although I must say the footage in this is looking more warmer compared to the IZI Drive. Also a moderate amount of noise in this, as this too is an upscaled 4K and not a native one. The letters and numbers are clearly visible, and both cameras offer a similar experience in terms of the license plate readability. Comparing them side by side now, as you can clearly make out, the Redtiger sample looks more yellowish orange and the IZI Drive looks more light yellowish to whiter compared to the Redtiger sample. Now moving down further into the footage, so that the vehicle moves a bit farther from my car, about a distance of 15 to 20 feet. And now if we take a look at the license plate from the IZI Drive, again a good read of the license plate, all letters and numbers are visible. But again, do note this is after I have turned off my headlights and not when the headlights are turned on. If we take a look at the Redtiger sample, now a very similar experience again as with the IZI Drive. Letters and numbers are clearly visible. Both samples carry a moderate amount of noise, but the overall readability at a distance of 15 to 20 feet is pretty decent, given that your headlights are turned off and not hitting the license plate directly. Comparing them side by side, you can clearly make out that these are almost similar samples in terms of readability. The only difference you might point out is in the color tone. Now as you can see, as soon as I turn on my headlights, the entire readability just goes away and you won't be able to read anything in such conditions. Taking a look at the rear camera sample, so as you can see, on top is the IZI Drive rear camera, on the bottom is the Redtiger F7N. But in the IZI Drive, you do find a slightly higher field of view compared to the Redtiger's rear camera. I have pointed out that portion with a white square and a red arrow. This is the extra part which you get in the IZI Drive rear camera sample when compared to the rear camera of the Redtiger. Again, now I wanted to point out at a certain thing. Now take a look at where the arrows are showing the haystack the man is carrying on the scooter, and also the weed bush at the back. I think in terms of the clarity, the Redtiger does seem to look a bit more natural when compared to the IZI Drive sample at these two particular points. I mean, even in the overall footage, the Redtiger does tend to give a more natural feel to the footage compared to the IZI Drive dash cam. Taking a look at the license plate readability, now let's zoom in on the IZI Drive sample. A good read of the license plate, I must say. Not very clear, slightly blurred out, a bit painted appearance, but still letters and numbers are more or less visible. If we take a look at the Redtiger sample, now this is much better compared to the IZI Drive's rear camera, and this looks, as I said previously, a bit more natural compared to the IZI Drive's rear camera sample. If we put these together side by side, you can make out that in terms of the readability, the letters and numbers are visible, are clear in both the samples, but the overall tone of the video and the overall natural or a bit more processed look of the video, you do find that the Redtiger gives off a slightly natural look compared to the IZI Drives in this rear camera sample from both these dash cameras. Coming to the nighttime quality of the rear camera, let's zoom in on the license plate at the very close range of about 5 feet. There is a Honda Elevate right behind me, and as you can see, this is the readability from the IZI Drive's rear camera. It is also capturing some red hint that is due to my car's rear red lights. In terms of the readability, again a very good read. All letters and numbers are excellently visible. Taking a look at the Redtiger sample, now this tends to look a bit more yellowish, a hint of red because of my car's rear light, and the readability of the license plate is again pretty decent and pretty good. If we take a look at them side by side, on top is the IZI Drive and on the bottom is the Redtiger. You do tend to note that again the Redtiger gives off a slight natural vibe compared to a more contrasty, a more painted appearance on the IZI Drive's rear camera sample. Moving on further, so that we take a look at the rear camera license plate readability sample from a far off distance, about distance of more than 10 to 15 feet. Now this is where the rear cameras from both IZI Drive and Redtiger fail to capture the license plate, and this is pretty much common in most of the rear cameras which you have seen till date. The high glare from the headlights of the cars facing towards the rear camera tend to whitewash the license plate readability, and the only way to get a license plate readability from the rear camera is that if the vehicle is very close, about a distance of 5 feet or less, to the rear dash cam. Moving on to the overall footage comparison, on top is the IZI Drive and on the bottom is the Redtiger. I have even given out the technical specifications of each of these videos for your reference. Even in this, as you can make out, the color of the sky in the Redtiger looks more bluish when compared to the IZI Drive, whereas the IZI Drive tends to exhibit a slightly higher brightness and exposure levels compared to the Redtiger dashcam. The Redtiger gives off a bit of a warmer tone and the IZI Drive gives off a more cool tone to the video. Not in any way saying that one footage is better than the other, but there is a difference in the tone of the video. Taking a look at the night situation, again a very similar experience. Overall, you cannot make out a major difference between these two videos with your naked eye. I mean, if you zoom in, you might find some differences, but the overall footage does seem to be very similar. As I said previously, only varies in terms of their tones. One is warmer and one is cooler, and the overall ability to give off a good footage is pretty much similar in both the dash cameras, even during night time, as you're seeing right now. Coming to the rear camera quality comparison, now even in this, as I said previously, the overall footage does seem to offer a similar and a very exact experience, except for the fact that the Redtiger maybe looks a slight natural and a slight more warmer, and the IZI Drive gives off a very minute painted appearance. Not that the fact that it reduces the quality, but there is a moderate amount of difference in terms of the video tone and in terms of the appearance or the look of the video in the rear camera during daytime. Coming to the night footage comparison, as I said previously, at night the headlight glare from the vehicles facing towards the rear dashcam completely whitewashed the footage in both the dash cameras, and the rear camera usability becomes very less in such conditions. But as you're seeing right now, if there is no glare from rear cars, if there are no rear cars present behind your car, you do tend to get a decent footage, which also provides a very similar experience. So what do you think now? Which camera do you think will be the one which you're going to buy? Do tell me that in the comments, and also if you have any doubts or queries regarding any of these products, do write that down in the comments as well. Also, if you're interested in purchasing any of these cameras, the Redtiger or the IZI Drive, you'll find the links to purchase them also in the description below. Go ahead, click down on the links, check out the prices and purchase the one which you like the most. So I hope this video has helped you out in clearing your doubts, and in case if it did, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and smash that like button. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.